All right. This is our final Tool Time Tuesday of 2023. We're going to take a little break for the winter break, and then we'll come back in the new year. Please continue talking on the team. We've keep sharing and asking questions, and I've learned good stuff there, and I hope you have too. Today, we're going to talk about Microsoft bookings. We had a guest speaker. Paulo Mangajas came, I can't remember if it's been a year, it's been over a year. But we wanted to go over this again because it's a great tool, and there are some, upgrades to it. And I honestly haven't used it to its full potential. So I'm Larissa Gann. My colleague Leslie Moore is here with me, and we're from the Research Medical Library. Hooray! You can find us on Inside under Research Medical Library. You can also Google us as well. We're here to help you. Please reach out and ask questions. I wanted to mention that along with these movies we've been talking about this morning, there are lots of books available for you to catch up on over the holiday. If you need something to read, you can check out the Libby app. We have a Spark Joy collection with some books to hopefully help you spark joy over the holidays, but also check out your local public library so you can catch up on the latest romance, mystery, fantasy, whatever you're reading right now. Those are all free to use, and they also have kids and teen materials as well. So something to do for fun that is free. We're going to jump right into Microsoft Bookings. So what is it? What are we talking about? Microsoft Bookings is part of that Office 365 suite. It offers a way for people to book meetings with you. So it eliminates some of that back and forth of scheduling where somebody emails you and you email them back and back and forth and back and forth. You can create a single bookings link for yourself, or you can create several bookings links, and we're going to look at that for different purposes. So if you want to get to bookings, you're going to do like you do for everything to get to the Office 365 products. You're going to go to Inside. You're going to click on the waffle icon in the upper left-hand corner, and you're going to choose Bookings. And let me show you real quick, just to remind everyone, here's the waffle icon. If you don't see Bookings in your list right away, you can click on Explore all your apps, and you should be able to find Bookings there. But this is Microsoft Bookings here, just to let you know. And a quick way to get to any of those Office products is just the waffle icon on Inside. That's what we mean by waffles, in case you aren't familiar. You can also go directly to the link, and we will share these slides with you. So to get started with Microsoft Bookings, when you go to the Microsoft Bookings site, you're going to have two pages. You'll have a My Booking page, which is the one that you're going to use the most. And then there's also something called a shared bookings page. Don't worry about that one for now. We just want to look at My Booking page. When you create a link for someone to be able to book a meeting with you, you can make it public or you can make it private. You get to choose this. Private bookings are going to require you to actually share the link with a person, which is fine. A public booking link we're going to look at, it's going to be available for people to locate and find and book with you. So you might start private and see, play around with it, and then you could make it public if you'd like. To build a bookings page, you automatically have one booking that's already created. When you go to Microsoft Bookings, you're going to see a little tile, and they've created a 30-minute booking for you. It's not active yet. It's something that you're going to edit, but just to give you a template to start with. So you can start by modifying when you go to the My Booking page. You can modify that template that's already there. You can also just click on the plus sign, and you can actually start a whole new booking for yourself. I thought it was easy to just click on the one that they'd created for us and start making some changes on it.
The thing that I will say is kind of weird about this is you have to click on the actual, booking the tile, because there's nothing that indicates where you're going to edit it.
Right. So, but if you click on the tile, you should be fine. Good point, Leslie. When you click on it, it will open up a window, and it's going to give you a form to fill out. So this is where you're going to name it something recognizable, like you want to give yourself office hours. Maybe you want to name it specifically what you'll be helping with during those office hours. You can add a category, but that's optional. I think categories would be helpful if you had lots of booking links. I'm going to guess most of us won't have tons of booking links. You can also describe the booking. So give a little bit more context for what will happen during that booking time. You can choose the location. The default is Teams because it's an Office 365 product. So you could leave on Teams, and when people book, you will be meeting in Teams. Or you can toggle that option off, and you could put in a Zoom link or another location if you wish. Choose a time frame. So you can say 30 minutes. I don't remember if they're in 15-minute intervals. I would suggest not to make them all an hour because time is precious and not every meeting needs to be an hour. So maybe start with 30 minutes. That's totally up to you depending on what you're doing. And you can choose at this point whether you want it to be public on your bookings page or keep it private. And you can go back and change that if you want to. So this is pretty easy. It's just a form you fill out. You can go back and you could add additional info if you needed to. One thing that Leslie learned the hard way in setting up bookings is you want to uncheck the box that says send an email with your personal bookings page to your top collaborators. So what it does is it pulls in people that you work with quite a bit. And if you set up your bookings page and you save it, it's going to share with these people automatically. And then they're going to be like, okay, I'm not ready to book with you yet, but thanks for sharing. You could share that way if you want to send it out. But if you're not ready, it's probably just good best practice to uncheck the send an email with your personal bookings page. Also, the other thing we noticed is there is a checkbox to append your personal bookings page to your email signature. So they want this to be easy, and maybe you've seen other people do this before. A lot of vendors or companies have started doing this, where in their email signature, they'll put a link where you could book time with that individual. So you can keep this box checked and it will show up in your email signature for you. Keep in mind, it takes a little bit of time for this to show up the first time. So the first time you create your bookings link, it's not going to be automatic. We noticed it took a few minutes for it to show up. And we'll look at that a little bit more. So now you can customize your schedule for your bookings as well. You've created a title and a time frame, amount of time you're willing to meet, but you have a couple of options for customizing your schedule. And this is important. You can say you want people to be able to schedule you anytime during your regular meeting hours. So that means if you've set your regular meeting hours to be, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., whatever it is, you're allowing them to book anytime during those regular meeting hours. That's a lot. You can also choose custom availability hours, which means you're giving them, a 1, 2, 3 hour time slot that they could book you. So it might be better to use custom hours, like give yourself some office hours. If you are going to use your regular meeting hours, something to remember. In Outlook, you have to set what your regular meeting hours are. And you may have already done this, but this is worth checking whether you use bookings or not. In Outlook, you can go to File, Options, and Calendar, and you can say what days you work and what your time frame for working is. This just lets everyone who's scheduling with you know this is the time you're usually at work. So, if you don't want people to book you at 7 a.m. or 6 p.m. or whatever it is, setting your time frame there is helpful. Okay, would adding that link to book also work with someone who uses Outlook for Mac? It should work, though I did not check it. That's a good question. Has anyone used bookings for Mac? I can ask someone about that. Yes, it should work for Outlook on Mac. The link might be slightly different. I can ask Paolo too. I'm not sure if he uses a Mac or a PC. Good question. Always the Mac question. Okay, so we're choosing whether we want them to meet with us all day long or just during specific hours. And let's take a look at that. When you say use custom availability hours, you get to select those hours. So you can say, in this example, I said, I want to be available from 2 to 4 p.m. only on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's the time I'm willing to commit to be available for booking. So you can change that time frame to just 1 hour. You could make it 1 day a week, whatever works for you. The days you're not bookable, you can just click the X and it'll put in a not bookable line there. So anyone who's coming to book with you will know that you're just not bookable on those days. So you get to choose the time. There are also some additional advanced options that you can choose. You can add buffering time. So add some time before and after your meetings so you can have a quick break. Make sure to schedule in time so you can stand up, grab a glass of water, whatever, go for a quick walk, whatever it is you need to do. So you can add just a few minutes. You can add, a 30-minute interval, whatever you need it to be. You can also choose lead time. How far in advance do you want someone to be able to book you? So if I'm saying from 2 to 4, I'm open from 2 to 4 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. How much lead time do I need to know so I know I'm going to be meeting? Am I going to let them book up to the minute, or, do I need them to give me an hour ahead of time, a day ahead of time, so I can prepare for that meeting as well? So that's what lead time is how far in advance do you need to know that you're going to be meeting with somebody? So in addition, in your advanced options, you can set up an email reminder. An email reminder sends a reminder to the person who books with you so that they'll be reminded that they did indeed say they were going to meet with you. An email follow-up will send a follow-up, as it says, to collect feedback from the person who booked with you. So if you're going to do these, you might test them out with a coworker and see how they appear and if it is the way that you want it to. I don't think you necessarily have to set up an email reminder because it's going to be added to their Outlook calendar. So hopefully if it's on their Outlook calendar, they're checking it. Yes, so someone said, if I'm already scheduled for a meeting, will bookings know? And the answer is yes, it's going to know. And let's look at it. So once you've set up your options, you can click save. Of course, you can go back into the form and you can make edits if you need to, but we're done for now. So we're going to click save. And what's going to happen is when you create a booking, you can choose this append your personal bookings page in your email signature. So we talked about this before. We've checked this box. So from now on, what happens once I've checked this box is that when I send an email to someone, the bookings link is going to be in my signature. So it's going to only include this bookings link. If you have other bookings link, it's not going to include other bookings. So Leslie and I were trying to describe a way of why you might have more than one bookings link. And it could be because you have booking time for, your personal staff, or maybe for technical issues, you have bookings times, but then you have different bookings times for personnel issues. I'm not sure what the case would be. I think one booking link might be less confusing, but there is a possibility of creating more than one. Just know that if you check this box to append to your personal bookings page email signature, this is the only one that's going to show up on your signature. Okay. So let's look at, can you use this feature if you have calendar access for your faculty? If they have the bookings page set up on their signature, people could book them. I don't know how it would work if you create the bookings link for them. I don't think it would work, but we need to investigate that. Always the tough questions. Just to give you an example of the signature link, if you're going to have more than one bookings link, you can change your settings to show a link to your specific bookings page rather than the specific bookings link in Outlook. So this is kind of hard to explain, but you could go to bookings and my bookings page. There's a share option and you can change your email signature settings if you want here. So this is where you would link to the whole bookings page. And let's say you have 2 to 3 bookings links. You could offer those options there. Just know that on your bookings page under the share button, there is an email signature settings. So from the user perspective, you've got this bookings link in your signature now, and you've given this time frame. We'll say Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 2 to 4. You can share the link by clicking on the ... and choosing share. As we showed in the previous screen, there's a share option. I could copy the link and I could share via email. If it's already in your signature, they're going to see it. Anyone who clicks on your bookings link is going to be able to review the dates and times. It's integrated with Outlook, so they're only going to see when you're actually available. So in this example, if I select a time, they're going to show that I'm only available at 2 and 2:30. Even though I said I was available from 2 to 4, I've got something between 2:30 and 4 o'clock. So it's only going to show me when I'm actually available on Outlook. It's going to gray out times that you're unavailable. The user can select the date and time, choose next, and the user can add notes additionally on why they're booking and click book when they're ready to book. So it's really easy to book. They just click on your link, they pick a date and a time, and they book. What happens when they book is you, as the person who's going to meet with them, is going to receive an email and let you know that somebody has booked with you. The booking's automatically added to your calendar, and the same thing will happen for them. The booker is going to receive an email invite and it will be added to their calendar. So you don't really have to do anything. If they book, it's on your calendar and it's ready to go. You are ready to be booked, to meet. So someone asked about, let's look at the bookings page real quick. About deleting one. So I'm going to go to my bookings page. So if I want to delete one, I can click on the ... and I should be able to click delete here. If I want to edit one, I should be able to just click on it and make some edits to it from here. Change my times. Let's say I don't want to do Monday anymore. I'm very busy on Monday. I'm going to cut it down to just Wednesday and Friday. I could X that out and save. And my booking is updated here.
You can also delete from that edit page as well.
Okay, so if I click on the tile, I can just click delete. I feel like sometimes the delete buttons are hidden, but this is actually pretty good. It's right next to the save, so don't actually hit delete when you're hitting save.
If you're talking about the page itself, I'm not sure about the page itself. You can turn the page off, which I think we're going to talk about as well.
Yeah, you can turn the page off from here. You can turn off your whole bookings page. So like if you know you're going on extended leave and you've got some bookings links on here, you can turn off the page itself there. So the other question was Teams versus Zoom. So when you're setting up your bookings link, automatically it says Teams. If I don't want to meet in Teams, I can toggle that off. At this point, I just need to put in my personal Teams Zoom link. And let me go so I can find it. In your Zoom app, can you see this, Leslie? Or did I turn it off?
No, that I can see.
You can see it?
Your settings, no, but your main Zoom window, yes. Oh, there's your settings. They showed up.
Okay. So you have a meeting link, and I already forgot where it is, Leslie.
I think it's under click on meetings. And then, no, that's not right.
You have a personal meeting link, and I
you do
haven't
have
done
a
it
personal
in so
meeting
long.
thing. I think it might be under home where you were.
Sorry,
because
guys.
you're in a meeting. Okay, what's going to happen is once you're out of your meeting, you're going to have on the tile on the left where it says return to meeting, instead you're going to have start a meeting, and that will be your personal meeting. So you can actually put that link in because you can actually get that link when you're no longer in a meeting. You can get that link for your personal meeting ID, and you can embed that in your booking page as your location if you wanted to.
So your personal meeting ID, I know I haven't had to do this in so long. I will find it and I will share it or add it to the slides, but I know you have a personal meeting ID that you could share.
Mhm.
So you can copy and paste that into your, I apologize, copy and paste that into here, into your location as well. Sounds like if a virtual meeting's requested, the owner of the booking should then go back into Outlook and add a Zoom link, or is there a way to auto add a Zoom link? So if you, when you create your bookings, if you turn off Teams, you can put your personal meeting link and it will stay there and it will always be available there. Somebody put in, is that a screenshot?
Yes,
Okay.
that's a screenshot of schedule.
Okay. And I will put some instructions on that as well. Okay, sorry. But you can use, everyone has, okay, so when you click on schedule, your personal meeting ID is there. Thank you so much. Everyone has a personal meeting ID. You can copy and paste that into bookings. And that is a permanent ID that you can use in that bookings link in your email signature. So you don't have to change the link at all. You can just toggle off Teams and put your personal meeting ID in here and then click save. Okay. The kind of magical part of this is when they book, it's on your calendar. So it's up to you if you need to cancel that. You're going to have to go back and cancel that to let them know that you're not available. But hopefully, because you said you were available, you'll be available. So another thing to remember is to calendar properly so that it's not booking at times when you actually need to be doing something else. You can update your banner, though it's very, very limited on your bookings page. You can click on the dot, dot, dot. There's a few other basic images you can change to. This is not that important. The important thing about the dot, dot, dot that we showed just a second ago is you could turn off your bookings page. So if you are going to be on leave or you've decided you don't want to do bookings for a while, whatever the reason, you can go to the dot, dot, dot on your bookings page and you can actually turn it off so people can't book with you. Some best practices. So think about how you want people to book time with you. Um, how do you want to provide services? I have a typo on this page. I apologize. So do you want to have one bookings link for like face-to-face meetings and one for virtual? That could be an option. Maybe you want one bookings link for 15-minute meetings and one for 45-minute meetings. You could be giving them that option. You could have one bookings link for technical support and one link for something else that you support. Leslie gave a good example of like, let's say you were booking at a salon, maybe you would want one bookings link for manicures and one for haircuts, something like that. It just depends on what works best for you. So test the bookings links with your colleague and make sure it works the way that you expect. I think you know from coming to Tool Time, if you've been before, that Leslie and I test everything with each other and our coworkers and probably annoy them. But they're always actually very, very kind and they give us feedback and let us know what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. So test it out with a colleague. Test the signature link in your email and make sure it does what you think it does. It actually was really seamless and quick to set up. So I didn't have any issues with setting up my bookings link. Keep your calendar up to date because it's reflected in your bookings page. We should be keeping our calendars up to date anyway, because if someone's trying to schedule, a holiday party or a staff meeting and you haven't kept your calendar up to date, that can really mess up their scheduling. So be sure to put yourself out of office if you are out of office on holidays and when you're on PTO. And again, you can turn off your bookings by going to that main bookings page and selecting the dot, dot, dot. Did I miss any questions about the bookings? Any other thoughts? So play around with it. Make sure that if you did click on having it show up in your email signature, that you want it to show up in your email signature. You can go back and turn that off if you want.
There was a second half to that question about turning off the bookings page that was about shared pages. We have not done any testing with shared pages, so I am not sure how you actually can delete the shared booking page because we haven't done that at all yet. We haven't even tested it.
So we know there are shared pages, because there were some in the list.
If you
A
look up
sh
research medical library, because they're attached to your teams generally. See, there it is.
Oh, okay. So I could create a shared page like for our staff. We haven't done that because then you're making some assumptions about their participation in this. It's something you'd want to discuss with the group. The idea of the shared bookings page would be that if there's a group of you that are experts in a certain area, that maybe you're offering your availability on certain days, office hours, things like that to share. It's something worth discussing because it could be a quick way for someone to say, I have a question on this, on how to do this thing with this grant. And these are the experts, these are the three experts in our department that are willing to meet. You could do that, but we haven't really, we did not explore that in depth because it opens up a whole can of worms on that. But we could do that again in the future. Okay, someone else said I had to click share to put it in my email signature. Okay.
I have a feeling that's because remember what we did to you, which is we unchecked your booking page
Hmm.
and then it disappears and you only can put it in from the share option at that point.
Okay. On your bookings page, you can only put
Mhm.
it in then from
Yeah, like
share.
so the very first booking you get, when you click on it, there's actually two checkboxes. And if you
Right.
uncheck both of those checkboxes, the
The
one that's actually
signature,
just above the one that's just above send an email, it's a signature checkbox. That one disappears forever, and you can only put it in through the sharing button on the bookings page itself.
right. So if you need to share, you can always come back here and go to your email signature settings as well.
Right.
Now, someone
So
else asked if your
yeah,
Outlook is out of office. If your Outlook out of office is on, well, is that shown in the bookings page? And the answer is yes.
I don't think
So,
the out of office itself is shown, but it will not allow them to book during your out of office time.
right. So, yeah, what I mean by that is that it will be grayed out so that they know that you're not available. They won't know why you're not available, but they'll just know you're not available that day or that time.
And if I'm understanding it correctly, as long as we're all on the same Exchange server, it will also not allow you to pick when your calendar is also busy. So you as the person who is trying to book with Larissa, for example.
Wait, say, oh, so, okay, so this is my bookings link. If Leslie were to
Mhm.
come here, it's not going to let her book either at a time where she's already busy.
Correct. Because we're all on the same Exchange server.
Okay. So test it out. That's our advice. See if it works for you. It could cut down on the number of emails we're sending. If there's, some expertise you're providing that you want people to be able to book with you, I'm going to test it out myself and see how it goes. Um, could be interesting. So let us know if you have questions as always. I'm going to stop the recording.